Joining me now, South Australian Liberal Senator Leah Blyth.
Yes, I was going to say, this has been going on for months in South Australia, and we have had marine life washing up along our beaches. I was briefed by the department back in June, and they were saying if this hit the metropolitan beaches, that would be absolute worst case scenario. That's now happened. This is far too little, too late. What has the government been doing for all of these months, preparing South Australians, looking out for our fisheries? I mean, it's hundreds of millions of dollars those industries are worth to the national economy, and they've heard nothing until today. So, you know, this seems to be something that's happening at the eve of federal parliament going back, but it's not enough, and we want to see more.
And what flies in and starts peering at the sand? I mean, he would not have a clue. I mean, I'm a South Australian, so I understand the purity of the seafood industry out of your state, whether it's fish or whether it's crayfish, whether it's oysters, prawns, you name it, that is all at risk, let alone the impact this might have down the track on tourism.
Absolutely. And as you've mentioned, we've got oyster farmers who haven't been able to harvest their oysters and sell them on. And, you know, I'm biased. I'm born and bred in Adelaide, but I think we have some of the best seafood in the world. And, you know, it is at risk of some of those international markets that we export into. But also, we're very spoilt in South Australia. We get to eat some of the most amazing seafood. And I'm really concerned. We've got regional communities that absolutely rely on the seafood and aquaculture industries in South Australia, and they haven't been able to do their job. So this is absolutely impacting the livelihoods of everyday Australians and South Australians along our coast. And there doesn't seem to be any sort of plan. And, you know, I might add that these are communities that are also facing significant drought in South Australia. So this is just something else to add to their plate. And as you've rightly mentioned, you know, we will come into peak tourism season as the months get warmer. You know, do you want to be going to our beautiful, pristine seaside locations if we've got dead marine life washing up on it? You know, that it's not something that our tourists are going to want to do.
Leah, what puzzles me is Premier Malinauskas, who I've got some regard for. I think, you know, he's one of the good guys in the Labor Party. What has he been shouting at Canberra, saying, "What are you going to do about this?" I mean, I've not seen any reports of him making a rock-solid case to his Labor mates in Canberra to get this situation under control and fixed.
It seems like they were sort of burying their head in the sand, so to speak, and that's a little bit of a pun when we're looking at coastal waters, but I certainly didn't see any evidence of that in South Australia. It was very much a let's wait and watch and see what happens. And what seems to have happened is the worst case scenario is now playing out for South Australia. And it certainly appears to me as a South Australian that the government, both state and federal, have been caught, you know, unawares and unprepared. And it is really, really disappointing, as I said, for all of those businesses that rely on the ocean for their livelihood and tourists that want to come and enjoy the pristine waters, not to mention just local South Australians who walk every day with their dogs and their children along the beaches. You know, we've had even instances of dogs that have been sick because of the algal bloom. So, you know, this is something where I don't think the Premier of South Australia has done enough to put this absolute disaster on the map. And I think it's fair to say, you know, we've been saying for a long time that if this was on the coast of Sydney or Melbourne, we would have seen action far sooner. And, you know, today, while I welcome some relief, $14 million is a drop in the ocean. You know, we are talking about, you know, a $500 million industry, and this is not going to help. That doesn't even take into account tourism providers, you know, people that are going out, recreational fishers. This is, you know, far too little, and I don't think we are going to see any kind of plan in terms of what does it mean when the waters warm up again with the warmer summer months coming. Are we going to see the bloom get bigger? You know, where is the planning that's coming to make sure that South Australians are prepared?
A complete disaster, and keep talking about it, because obviously Canberra needs to be embarrassed before they do anything. Senator, thank you very much for your time tonight.